Let's talk about the trauma bond that happens with women that are sensitive or highly empathic or sensitive. I do not like to pathologize that. I think it is a gift. I think that in the world we need more people that are empaths, that are highly attuned to the energies and how people are showing up for us and knowing what to do with that. Um, but in my experience, what I have seen is that if you have not healed from some of the wounding that may have led you to be really highly attuned to your environment and the people around you, then what will happen is that you will be more susceptible to recurring patterns of people who are going to take advantage of you. And one of those ways that someone can take advantage of you is through a trauma bond with a narcissist. My journey with narcissists, oh boy. Okay, so um, I I had a colleague of mine come to me and tell me about some abuse that was happening in our field and asked me to do work with women who had various stages of sexual injury um, at the hands of this man in our industry. And I agreed to, I wanted to help these women get out and who had been brave enough to get out of that circle of real toxic energy that was this man and the system that he developed. And all I did was make a public statement that I was willing to help anyone for free. Complete privacy. I'll give my service to free to anyone who's been injured by the system or by this person. Oh my God. Okay. Like shit hit the fan. And I was bombarded by this man night and day, where he set up websites that were there just to attack my reputation. He hired a private investigator to find any dirt on me that he could find. And he started trying to gaslight me. I did not know what I had come across. I then had to really do a deep dive into understanding the narcissist personality disorder to get a sense of what I was going through and what faced me. And in that experience that was so painful, that led to some health conditions that were going on. I almost felt like I could take it, like, okay, bring it, I'm there for these women. I am really, I don't care. I do have a really good reputation. Nothing you say can hurt me. What got to me, and it was really wonderful to listen to the tail end of Angela's presentation because there is overlap. What really got to me was the fear that he was going to uncover in his investigation of me, was going to uncover some things about my children. Right? They were teenagers, had made mistakes, things like that might be uncovered, that could come to light and ruin them and their reputations, or just harm them in some way. That's what got me really dysregulated, upset. And I had insomnia, I had digestive issues. And so I really needed to see, okay, what part of that, how, I know that it could have been completely random that this person came into my life, but I'm going to use it as a gift to see what else I need to heal from my past that opened me up in some way for me to having this moment with this person. And so, yeah, I had to do a deep dive into understanding narcissism. I had to do a deep dive into seeing what traumas I had left from my childhood that opened me up in that way. So does that make, so far, so good? You're nodding your heads, you're like getting it, like those, yeah, yeah, yeah,
It does resonate. It
yeah,
does resonate.
yeah.
And
So
actually,
because,
I have to say thank
yeah,
you
go ahead.
for they are teachers, as I mentioned to Ali, and they bring up something that we suppressed. It became a Pandora box about things I forgot about my childhood, that's things that I wanted to forget about, the way I was treated, like a part of my teenagehood, childhood, I can't remember. I just
Right.
blocked it out. And the fact that I started dating this psychopath, everything came right in my face and I couldn't hide it anymore. I had to face it.
Right.
So yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And because we're talking about this, and maybe I'm reminding you, or your subconscious is tuning into how what I relayed has something from you and your personal history, we are activated right now. So I want you to take your hands and put one hand on top of the other in the center of your chest. And you're going to breathe in for a count of 6, in through your heart. So imagine you're taking a breath in, and I'll count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and exhale now. Imagine through your heart, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, in through your heart, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale through your heart, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again. Okay, so that is a very simple heart math breathing technique that will get you very settled very quickly. Let's do another one. So let's do one where you're going to name 3 things in your room. So I'm looking at my light, the window, and my water. So name 3 things aloud in your room. What does that do? That brings you right into this moment, right here where there's nothing bad happening. All right. And then you're going to imagine that you're breathing in through your abdomen, breathing in and holding it back into your spine. So breathe in through your abdomen, hold it. And then I want you to put your teeth together and just imagine that you're blowing out a candle in front of you. And one more time, breathing in, bringing that abdomen back to the spine. Teeth. Now this time you're going to imagine that you're breathing in through your toes. And up, up, up into your body. And then you're going to breathe out, but open your mouth wide and make a sound. Ah. All right. Close your eyes and just feel how peaceful your body is right now. Okay. So now that we're in a more parasympathetic state in our nervous system, using the vagus nerve, polyvagal theory, to just all these things that help us to get here, because here is a moment of peace. It's when you are consciously or unconsciously remembering or reacting to something in the past, or projecting something out into the future where you're feeling off. If you're feeling off, bring yourself to now. Bring yourself to right here. And even if it's just looking around the room and naming 3 things, you'll start to feel better. So let's talk about this thing, EFT. So EFT, I'm sure you've seen, many of you have seen it. There are many versions of it. I am a master trainer of trainers of emotional freedom techniques, and my preference and bias is for the clinical, evidence-based, research-validated EFT, not the scripts, not the tap-alongs, not the apps, because that clinical version of EFT makes someone connect very quickly to their personal history and what the connection is between something that's happening now and something that happened before. You know, there's a saying, if it's hysterical, it's historical. There is something about that from your personal history that needs to be cleared up. So what is it? We bring something up to the surface, an event up to the surface, and when we bring it up to the surface, up to the consciousness, then we're able to change it. It becomes plastic, it becomes malleable, we can actually work with it. And so we're bringing an event up to the surface, and then in that state, we are changing it and how we feel about it by tapping on meridian endpoints. So this is the same system that's used in traditional Chinese medicine. We're activating those meridians. We happen to be tapping or rubbing or holding points that are very close to the surface of the skin so that we do not have to insert needles into those points. So the points are the side of the hand. So between the base of the pinky and the top of the wrist is a large area. So you can take 4 fingers of your dominant hand, tap on the side of your non-dominant hand, or just do this and tap both of them at the same time. There's another point that's right at the very top of the head. So I see people doing this all the time, and that's not the point. The point is right there at the very top of the head. And large area again, take 4 fingers and tap. The next point is the start of the eyebrow. So if you were to go to the start of the eyebrow and press in a little bit, you're going to feel a little divot there. That is the actual point. So, but if you are tapping, you're actually sending vibration throughout that whole area, so you don't have to really be pinpoint precise. So you're tapping on the eyebrow point. The next point is the side of the eye. So again, if you were to go to your eye socket and you were to press down on the eye socket, you're going to feel a little divot there. That is actually the point. But to tap there would really be annoying and sensitive. So you're going to go back about an inch or 2. And that's where we're tapping. The next point is 1 inch below the center of the pupil. And it is on, if you were to go on the bony ridge eye socket, press down, you will also feel a little divot there. That is the point. The next point, so top of head, eyebrow, side of eye, under eye. Next point is between the bottom of your nose and the top of your upper lip, and that's called under the nose point. The next point is below, between your bottom lip and your chin. It's called the chin point, but it's really on this line or indent that you have below your bottom lip. Good. The next point is K27 in acupuncture, which is pretty significant. It is all about fear and the kidney meridian. So we want you to try to get both of these at the same time. A good way to do that is to take your hand and give yourself a loving pat, or you can make a fist and tie right where you would tie a necktie knot. So that's the collarbone point. The next point is 4 inches below the armpit on the side of the body. Generally, it's where your bra strap crosses over on the side of your body to the back. So you can tap this way, you can cross your arms and tap this way, you can do one side, it really doesn't matter. So those are the points that you'll see most people using. Those are the points that's used in the research studies. And so even if you don't do anything else but learn those points, and when you're feeling triggered, activated, low energy, anxious, you just go and start tapping on those points, you are going to feel better. So tap and tap and tap and tap and tap and tap and tap. Now, I said earlier that the power of EFT is to bring up a specific event, and that's what brings it up so that we can work on it. If you are dysregulated, whether you know the event or not that's causing you to be dysregulated, it's up for you. And so no words are necessary. Just keep tapping and keep tapping and keep tapping. So because this is being recorded, I really can't go and spend the next half hour with one of you one-on-one working on specific events. But I could work with someone in a way where none of us would really need to know what you're working on. So if there's someone that would like to work with me on some aspect of this, and maybe I'll talk some more, and then whoever feels called to do the work can raise their hand. So what happens when you are raised in an environment where you are needing some kind of external validation, where you are getting the message that you are not enough? That internalized feeling of I am not enough has you trying to seek ways to help the people around you, your parents primarily. And so you get, and the other way that this conditioning happens is if there is some kind of abuse that's going on, and you need to be hyper aware of how is dad doing right now. Okay, I am listening for the way that he got out of his car. Did he slam the car door or did he close it? Is he already grumbling before he opens the door and he's getting his keys to open the front door? Or is it more peaceful? Is there an undercurrent of fear and anxiety at the dinner table that's making me feel like I've got to watch out for every single thing that's happening and try to make things calm? Maybe try to help mom, my brother, or my father, because that has been my role. I have internalized that as my role to make sure everybody's happy, peaceful, so that bad things don't happen. So then years later, you come across someone that you're dating who you find maybe very attractive. There is an energetic connection. There is a lot of chemistry there. And everything seems okay because they love the attention you're giving them. They love that you are always on alert of how can I make him feel better? How can I make him know how much I love him? The world is out to get him, but I am going to be his rock. I'm going to be the one that's going to help heal him. If I love him enough. But then you're also getting at first, little clues that, okay, there's something about what he's showing me that makes me feel that I need to continue to do more work on myself How can I change back to the old pattern? How can I change in order to keep the peace, in order for him to fall in love with me even more, for me to give him everything that he needs? And so you go crazy because you'll think, if I were smart enough, if I were thin enough, if I were prettier enough, if I lived in the right place, if I had more money, then he would love me. Yeah? Anyone resonate with that? Yeah. All right. And so your friends and your family members that know you, right? The ones that really know, you know, your true essence, know who you are. They will see it and they will scream at you to get out. Get out. What are you doing? Don't you see that he's just not at that into you? You're waiting around for his message and it doesn't come. Days and days go by and you don't hear from him. Or you are asking every friend, okay, this is what he texted me. Let me read it to you. What is it? What do you think it means? You drive yourself crazy like that. You really do. And so what happens is that your self-esteem suffers greatly. Your self-esteem will, and that poor self-esteem that you really didn't even know that was hurting. It leads you to believe that I can't get out because I am not good enough. You get reinforced. I'm not good enough. And so then you're like, well, I'm not good enough for anyone else. I might as well stay here. Now, all the people around you that aren't your good allies and the people that really know you and love you and are there and care for you, if they're giving you bad advice, it's because they are coming from the perspective of their own trauma wounding. And that's why you get not only gaslit from the narcissist, you get gaslit from everyone else. Now, a good example, and one that it comes with a major trigger warning. You might have to tap while you watch it, but I love the new series on Netflix called Made. So she was actually writing about, I live in the Pacific Northwest on an island. That was all written here. And so that was my interest in reading the book and watching the series. And in that series, you will see Alex gaslit by her father, her mother, her friends, and she becomes a shell of a person because she's listening to those external voices telling her that, you know, he's not that bad. He's really working on himself. What's wrong with you that you're not giving him a second chance or a third chance or a fifth chance or a 100th chance? So know that those people around you are doing the best that they can given their own trauma history. All right. How are you doing? All right. So I want you to pay attention because, again, this conversation is activating. I want you to just notice in your body what you're feeling. And pick the one area that feels most tense, activated. I want you to pick that. For me, I'm feeling it a lot in my chest. And so I want you to describe that sensation in your chest. And I'm going to do that for myself. It's like I'm feeling tightness. Right? If I could describe it with a color, I would say that it is like a dark, murky blue. If it had that sensation in your body had a shape, what would it be? Mine is like a big ball. If it had a weight, mine is going to be heavy. And does it have a temperature? And mine is kind of warm. And anything else that you want to write or remember about that sensation. And you're also going to give it an intensity level 0 to 10. 10 really high, 0 no intensity at all. And we're going to tap together. And you're going to say what it is that you're feeling. I'm just going to leave it blank so that I don't confuse you and you don't hear my words in my head, in your head. All right, so you're going to say, you're going to tap on the side of the hand. And what's a beautiful anchor in EFT is EFT has some neurolinguistic programming in it. One of the beautiful anchors in EFT is that we accept ourselves. And when we are those sensitive beings that have been harmed, like I said, one of the most important things you can do is reclaim your worth, your self-worth, and love yourself. So that's part of the EFT statement. So you're going to tap on the side of the hand and you're going to say, even though I feel this, and then add the weight, the shape, the location, the color. I deeply and completely accept myself. All right, even though I feel this, fill in the blank. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this, I deeply and completely accept myself. Great. Tap at the top of the head, and you're just going to say, describe that sensation. This, go to the eyebrow point, same thing. This, side of the eye, this, good. Under the eye, this, under the nose, this, chin point, this, collarbone, this, under the arm, this, okay. I noticed some yawning. I noticed some, for me, I was burping, sighing. All of that are signs of emotional release. That's a good thing. So I now want you to check into that sensation and where you were feeling it in your body and see if it's changed. Has it moved? Is it the same color? Is it the same temperature, weight? Does it have the same shape? So raise your hand if it changed.